Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I am your host, Hery Acosta. Fun episode today. We're just over here talking about a few quick topics. When it's an interesting time when you start off a Pacers show with the term Bronny James. Now, the only reason I'm even talking about Bronny is just because JJ Redick told Bronny to look at and study TJ McConnell in the finals. Now, that's not a bad thing to study, especially if you want to make it big in the NBA. TJ McConnell off the bench was a finals hero. He actually was in my top 3 for finals MVP if the Pacers would have won. Maybe even in second. But, the way McConnell played in the finals, between his scoring, his defense, his agility, his steals, just everything, his aggressiveness, everything he was doing on that court was pretty much just spotless, perfect. Obviously, everyone could play better. Sometimes there's a little bit of efficiency issues, but at the end of the day, he gets to his spots, he picks them, scores whenever he can. It's just someone we need to keep on this team. And for Bronny, he's heard all the haters. He's heard everyone talking about him. He's like, oh, you're just in the NBA because you're LeBron's kid. You actually don't have talent. Truth is, Bronny's got skills. Bronny's got talent. He's shown flashes, especially in the G League. He showed some flashes in the Summer League. Obviously, he's had some off games. He does have some efficiency issues. Could probably work on his defense a little bit more. So, yeah, if he does want to improve and J.J. Redick knows and he gives his props to T.J. McConnell, yeah, watch some tape on T.J. McConnell. You're not the biggest guy on the court. You're going to be shorter than most guys in your position. So play like this. This is how you're going to play. So that's going to be very good for Bronny in the future if he just keeps studying like that. Now, I've heard a lot of people want to talk about Tayen Peter, and I think it'll be a good time to talk about him. Now, the 54th pick out of Liberty, just another guard, going to be a two-way player, but he brings a lot to the table. Now, the main thing that he brings is the fact that he is a spot-up shooter. He is someone that we're going to play a few minutes a game. Definitely not going to be a fully rotational piece. He's most likely going to end up being... He's going to be in the G League most of the time. Now, we might be able to sign him to a standard contract if he does impress in both the G League and in the NBA. And just his range, he's more NBA ready than he was college just because of the way his game translates to the NBA. Now, I can see him being also a good 3-and-D player, a good floor spacer, someone who can play make as well. So that's definitely something that I want to see out of him. He could potentially be a steal at the 54th pick. Now, he didn't have the craziest college career, which is why he fell as low as he did. But, sometimes you don't have to have the wildest, craziest college career to be an NBA star. I'm obviously not going to compare him to players like Jokic, like Giannis, that were drafted outside the lottery and end up becoming Hall of Famers. But, you get your steals in and there. You get your Michael Reds, your Chris Middletons, your DeAndre Jordans, your Draymond Greens, very good players in the second round. And so that's just something that we're going to keep looking at. I'm very excited to see what he can do. Next, this one does not shock me at all. I saw a video of Benedict Mathurin trash-talking VJ Edgecombe, who is now on the Philadelphia 76ers. 3rd overall pick. Obviously, Pacers and the Sixers aren't exactly friends. That never really have been. But Paul George is on the Sixers now. We didn't see him too much last year. But Mathurin's going to talk his trash. Mathurin has been a trash talker ever since he got to the league. We saw him trash talking DeAndre Hunter, just a bunch of different players in the playoffs. So definitely something we're going to watch, especially now that he's going to get more minutes. I do expect him to be our starting shooting guard. And I expect him to put up between 18 and 22 points a game. So if that's what he's going to end up doing, he's going to talk his trash. If he has an efficient season, he needs to talk his trash. He's going to be that guy because the Pacers aren't necessarily the biggest trash talking team, but we do have players like Matherin. We do have McConnell talks his trash. Nemhard subtly talks his trash as well. Halliburton talks trash more than pretty much anybody on this team, if we're really being honest. But we're gonna be needing a lot of that fire, a lot of that energy, especially from Matherin. Now, trash talking rookies, that's gonna be a fun one to look at, especially one with the edge that Edgecombe has. He's gonna be a good player. He's gonna bring a lot to Philly. Philly needs all the help they can get, so that's where that's gonna be. And I ended yesterday's episode with Obi. I'm gonna end it again with Obi, just because Obi Toppin is a great human being. He is currently hosting a local camp. We're gonna ignore the fact that I misspelled local, but he's currently hosting a local camp in Dayton, Ohio, where he went to college. We all know he's a University of Dayton legend, National College Player of the Year right before he got drafted. This is just something that a lot of basketball players do, a lot of NBA players do, a lot of NFL players host football youth camps. Hockey players will host hockey camps. Soccer players host soccer camps. But he's doing it where he went to college, where he pretty much made it big. Everyone knew he was going to be something special in the NBA. Now, I don't think people would say he has fully lived up to his potential yet, just because he was the 8th pick in the draft. He was drafted in New York, but he has made the best of it in Indy so far. Now, he's definitely going to want to try to fight for that starting spot, just because he knows he can be a starter. He has been excellent off the bench, but he knows he can be a starter. He started the 2023-2024 season in the starting lineup alongside Bruce Brown before everything got switched up for Nesmith and Nemhard. So, something to look forward to, seeing what Obi Toppin can do. Obviously, the only position he's really going to be fighting for would be a small forward, because he's not going to start over Siakam. That's just not going to be the case, and normally he goes in for Siakam. But, it's great to see Obi hosting a kids camp, just letting them have fun, letting them play basketball. A lot of them may not be able to play at home, so being able to play there, especially with an NBA talent, that's very wonderful for them. And like always, I am very excited for next season. I want to see what Tayen Peter can do. I want to see what Matherin can do. I want to see what Toppin can do. And I just want to overall see how the Pacers play with all the cards that they have been dealt this season. I think this team is still going to be great. Honestly, let's make another finals run. Let's have some fun. Let's play some basketball this year. As always, I'm your host, Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby. Go, Sirs.